Okay, next up, I'm excited to welcome Jared Ficklin, aka pearlsnaps. Jared is a designer and creative technologist with 2 decades of experience creating products and visions for major companies. An innovator by nature, he is always exploring new means for technological interaction and has a passion for unique interaction models. Jared is an evangelist and co-creator of the cable car-based mass transport vision known as The Wire, and was the first to bring live fire to the TED stage. I'd like to see that. He speaks internationally as a creative technologist and futurist. Jared and his twin, Joey Ficklin, have activated works at the Burn twice and other events worldwide. Their work integrates technology in unusual or unexpected places while creating new capabilities or experiences. Their latest works examine augmentation versus emulation and seek to improve humanity through technophilia. Jared, so happy to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you. I've seen so many of these. It's so cool to be on this side of it. And behind every project, including this year's Solar Library, is a community of artists. And so I just want to thank them, my brother, Joey, who's the other side of the other singularity. And then the last Starfighters Art Support Camp, there's about 25 of them that work so hard in the hot Austin sun. And then the new crop of people who we are calling Solarians, who are helping to activate the Soul Library. And last but not least, the artists who have joined us in this mission to make the playa more sustainable. And we made a little video that'll tell you more about what the Solar Library is.
Cool, thanks.
Art is beautiful for the communities that it creates and also for the aesthetics it adds to the playa, but art needs power. And it would be nice if that was solar power and not the generators that are mostly used today. When we brought out the augmented reality porta potties in 2018, we tried to use solar power, but we learned a lot. Mostly that takes a lot more solar power than you think it does. We spent a lot of time running batteries back and forth to camp that year, and we learned a lot about battery swap. In 2019, when we brought the trailing soul, we worked really hard to make sure our solar system had the capacity for the load. But that meant it was really big, really heavy, really expensive, and we didn't like the way it looked next to the art. That's when we conceived of the Solar Library. The Solar Library is sculptural infrastructure to help small art convert to solar power. Artists apply for a library card, and they don't have to worry about building panel infrastructure. They just buy batteries instead of a generator, and then they swap them out on the playa. We designed the Solar Library in CAD, and we started with the trailer because we knew freight would be an important component. Each unit has 1,600 watts of charging power and is dedicated to a single artist. We use these plans to engage a fabricator because, well, we don't trust our welding skills, and we wanted these to last for years. And the fabricator knew a lot about a lot of things, including like how to size forklift pockets for the kind of forklifts that are used on the playa. So we're really happy to have their services. The Soul Library itself is being built in Austin, Texas, at the home of the Other Singularity Art Collective. And it's being built by 20 volunteers who are members of the art support camp, The Last Starfighters. We have a lot of past equipment that we're using here from bringing art to the playa. You can see it here in this garage where a lot of the work happens. And well, anytime you see a bike with fur on it, you know you got a bunch of burners. We decided that the unit should have the colors of the sun, in particular the sunrise and the sunset on the playa. So we're painting them all kinds of shades of yellow and orange. Right now, the Last Starfighters have had a couple of work days. We've built out the first prototype unit. We've test fit the solar panels, installed the walls and the doors. Right now, it's going back to the fabricator so they can make adjustments and build 5 more units. Next month, we'll be building all those units out fully, and they'll be on the trailer, ready to go to the playa. That trailer is going to be stored at 360, and that will save tons of CO2. Our hope this year is to support 6 projects and take 6 generators off the playa and all the spilled fuel and fumes that are associated with those. But more importantly, 6 trucks and trailers from traveling to and from the playa. And we hope to expand that to 50 artists in the future. See you in the dust.
Wow, that's so cool, Jared. Okay, when I first heard that idea, I was like, how clever to make it both so practical and so beautiful. People in chat are just all really excited about that too. And, as many of you know, Burning Man Project is really working hard to prioritize environmental sustainability. We released a roadmap a couple of years ago that we have 3 goals we're trying to reach by 2030. We can put the link to that roadmap in the chat now too, if you want to check out more later. So it's really exciting to see how that's coming to life through artworks as well. So that's so cool. Thank you, Jared. You know, I just want to tell you guys a funny story. The first time I met Jared was when he was working on a project to bring augmented reality porta potties to the playa. It must have been probably 5 years ago. And he actually rented a porta potty and had it set up in his backyard and was doing the project there. And I remember the day he sent me that video, just stopping and being like what a funny thing that people all over the world are doing these things in their own backyards. Like this guy rented a porta potty to make his art project, and wonder what the neighbors are wondering. And it reminds me of my colleague Dave X likes to talk about how sometimes people will say, like, spit out some outlandish idea and everyone will be like, that's ridiculous. But as soon as you put the words "at Burning Man" at the end of that outlandish idea, suddenly it's like, oh, of course, like, sure, yeah, why not make that happen there? So that's just one of the things that I love about this culture and community. So thanks again, Jared, for doing this. Although the solar library really is not one of those crazy ideas. Like, we should do that in every city everywhere. Like, that's a cool idea to expand on after this. So